and we can always hide this. Okay. All right. So this is where we left our code. Uh, we connected to Mongoose. All right, and then started using the JSON middleware, and then we had many other stuff that we were passing through. So create blog was for Lavanya. Okay, so that won't be anymore. I will be removing that after I push this to the repo. Okay, so let me just first push it. Mm, all right, there is no changes for the same. Okay, so we created our user controller last time, right? And inside that we did our sign up and login page. So we have a sign up page, and then we said if there's a get request for sign up, do sign up. If there's a get request for login, do login. All right, we still have to work for sign up post and then login post. Okay, so previously we did talk about error handling in block controller. So what I'm going to do is a pro move by developer will be copying the code. Okay, and we'll be pasting it here, and we'll be requiring the user model, and we need to do this. So user email and password is a required string, and then we also created this all things. Okay, so let's just start going ahead with our backend so that uh, we don't have to deal with error issues in our front end. Okay, so let's just make that sure that our backend works properly as we expected. But before that, uh, let's learn about cookies. So if you open up your Chrome or something right now and hit Control Shift and I, that gives you your inspect page. So that's your dev tool for you. All right, and inside there, if you go to the application tab, so it is not showing up over here right now. And if I click on this and then go to application, it gives me my application tab. Okay, and then over here there's cookies. Okay, so the cookies set by everyone. So I have one by tabgladly.io, and if you know this extension, it what it does is it shows ad to you for free, and then for every time you open a new tab you get a heart, and then you can donate this heart. One heart is approximately like $0.0001, but you saw with time it adds up, and if you can donate $1, it is more than good. Okay, so let's just donate to somebody for this lecture. Help shelter cats. Okay, try tab for cat. Okay, no, not this, we will do that another time. Okay. Okay, let's do it later on. But the main thing is that you can see that we have cookies over here. Okay, so this is by tab gladly, this one is by someone else, this is by Amazon ad system, and then this is ads.publicmatic. So like this we have our all this stuff for us. And if you now go to, so I guess you will have to install what do we have to install in this case, mm, you'll have to install cookie parser. Okay, but there are ways we can do that also. So you can always use cookies by default also, but instead of doing that, what we will be doing is we will be creating a middleware. So how you do that? So first all you have to do is install your cookie parser. So let's just clear our terminal. and then we can say npm I the parser. So what this does is you can always go ahead and set it manually, but you see, just like Express, it is a framework for cookies. You can say it's a dependency actually, but you can call it as you want. Okay, so once you install this, you need to get it inside your app.js file. So what we are going to do is const p uh, parser p will be capital for the same, and then require as always, and then inside this we will add in cookie. No, not this. We won't be using this because this is a predefined dependency. All right, and let's just move this up, and then inside middlewares you have to say app.use, and then over here just say cookie parser, and try to keep it before your JSON view engines and all. Okay. Now, where you keep your codes and placement, that also affects your data flow. So if there's something that will be required above create only, you can do that. And cookie parcel will be required every time you create a new page. So for that, we will be using a cookie parcel. Okay. So since now we can now set our cookies. So once you have initialized it, you don't need to call it everywhere. Plus point from Express for you. So we already have done our error handling. So if there is not required body is not there, it is set to true, and if it not there, send this error body is required, and if the password is missing, we should say password is required. Okay, so I have explained this. You can go back and look in the models lecture. I don't remember the exact date for you, so I'm sorry for that. All right, so we have this setup. I don't think that we are going to make any more changes to the same. Okay, except we will create our login function. So I will be showing you static functions and all. So at that time, so let's go back to our user controller. So that is what authentication does for you. Uh, so what we are going to do is we are going to start with handling errors. So right now we won't be requiring a title. Instead, we will be requiring an email, and inside the snippet we will be requiring a, instead of snippet we'll be using a password, and there won't be any body. So if you have phone numbers and all, you can always use your errors, and 11,000 will remain the same. That is the error code. And since we have this right now for email, so we will say email. Okay, and then errors dot title, and then validation field and all that stuff. Okay, chalo. And you also want to uh, create your web token. So that is your cookie, which you are calling it right now, but better word will be the web token. All right. So this token will be saved inside your this directory. So let me just go to my website, which we are creating right now. That will help us learn a lot. Okay. So if I move to that website, uh, now it will take time. So till then, I will just show you how to create your cookies. So JSON, mm, let's call it JSON web token. All right, you usually call it JWT, but that's fine for now. Yeah. So now what you have to do is, since we will be using it again and again, we will create a function for the same. So it's a const create. So let's say create token for the, and then inside that we will take in the user parameters. So right now we have email, password. Instead of doing that, what we'll do is we'll pass in an ID for this guy. and then we will say return something. All right. So inside this return, we'll just say jwt dot sign. So this is what jwt does. It will assign some value random to id. It will be encrypted via this. So we will say some secret. All right. Okay. And it also takes in a callback function for you. No, it takes in some extra parameters. So you want to say it expires. You see, if you go over here right now, we don't have any cookie. And if I go to new blog, it won't let me add a blog unless I log in. So let's just submit it. Okay, so now I have come over here, and now if I see this, it says that I have a cookie. It is named JWT, and the value is this. Domain is the website name for the same. All right. So and then there are other stuff. So the path is home path, and then expires, then the size of the cookie, then HTTP only. So HTTP only cookies cannot be accessed inside your normal JavaScript. So unless you are fetching from server, it won't be sent to the person. So if there's a hacker trying to steal your cookies, he won't be able to get this. All right. And then there are other things. So there's secure. We don't have that for now. Same site, and then so that prevents cross-site cookies. Then same party, then priority, and all the stuff for the same. All right. So that is your cookie. So it is right now saved over here, and we can also remove this cookie. Though if I click on logout, it should remove this. Yeah, you see the cookie just disappears. All right, and that cookie is used for user authentication. So once you try and refresh your page again and again, at that point, then user will have to create a new token, and then he will have to sign in again. So instead of doing that, he can sign in once, and then he can stay logged in for 30 days. All right. All right. So let's just work about this. So we will say expires in. Now this is something that it takes in, and then we will say the max age. So now it is you see, it is right now being calculated in milliseconds. So if you say 1000 milliseconds, 1000, it will calculate it in 1000. It will expire in 1 second only. And if you say 60, then it will take 60 seconds. And then again, if you multiply it by 60, so that is 1 hour for you. And then you want to do that by 24 hours. All right. And then for now we can say 30 days, but let's just keep it for 3 days. And we need to add an into over here also. But instead of writing this long things over here, what we can do is we can create a const max age. All right. And then we can just paste it over here, and expires in max age. Okay. So that is how you will create your token. Now we need to learn this ahead, so we will be using it for now. So once we go to sign up post, so at this point, so once it gets sign up get, it will render the sign up page. So that is this page. So it will render this EJS file for you. All right. Then once it does that, we will be clicking on the submit button. So your submit button is this. All right. So once you click that, your form will be submitted, and then there will be an action of sign up, and method will be post. So that will create a new user. All right. So now what we are going to do is we are going to work with our sign up post. So we will do is we will first have request.body, and then after that we will go to the try and catch blog. Now you can always use async and await, but since you guys are learning, so I will be doing different things for you. It does make your clear code untidy and all, but it also allows you to explore various aspect of your code. So right now you can do try catch, you can also do async await, you can do then you can use fetch. So there are many things that you can do. All right, so now we have made this function as an asynchronous function, and then now we are saying that const user equals to await, and then after await we are going to say user. So we have imported our user from here. All right, so user dot create, and inside that we will be passing in our email and then a password. Okay, and then once we get this user, we will just console log the user right now. So console log user, and now we also have to create a catch block inside which we will be passing in the errors. All right, so we will say console log error. Okay, chalo. So let's just try this right now. So as I told you, we'll be using Insomnia so that we can check if our servers are working. So today my goal is to get our servers working. Okay, so now we have this. Instead of doing this, we are going to use the second route that we have created. So it is we using user routes, and then from there we will be going to user route. So this is your post model, and then inside that you have sign up. All right, so we will go to post and then slash sign up. So post and then we have sign up. So let's just copy it because my sign up spelling is still wrong. Okay, and then over here you need to send in a JSON, and now if you send in this, yeah, you need to run your server first for that. So let's just say nodemon app.js. So hopefully this runs and we don't get an error. Okay, now it does say, okay, so it was saying cannot connect to server, but now it should do this. Okay, well, now we have user validation field, so it means that at least it works. All right, and then the regions are undefined, password is required, and body is required. Okay, so I guess we are doing something wrong at this point. So let's go to the user model, and then yeah, instead of this we will just say email is required. Okay, now we were passing in title, snippet on body, so let's just do this. So we'll pass in an email, so we'll say test at the rate one test.com, and then we will create a password of test123. All right, so uh, let's just put in password over here, and we don't need our body services anymore. So let's just try and send this. So right now it did send us a user back. All right, and it also encrypted our password. Okay, so this is because we used yeah, we did this for the same, and then we also console log this. So let's just remove this for now. Okay, so that confirms that our sign up is working, and if we have error, it is also giving you your error outside. Okay, so let's just add few more validations to our user model. So if you have your user.js open, but you don't have that right now, so we can pass in some things. So there is minimum length. So length spelling, I guess it is th. If I'm wrong, please do correct me. And then same, we will create square brackets, and then we will keep a minimum length of 6. And then if there's an error, minimum length is 6 characters. All right. Now, since this is always checked before something is being saved, so it will show the error. All right, instead of checking after the password is encrypted. So you will have your password length checked first, and then after that you will do this. All right, after that you will do your hashing of the password. Okay, okay, we now need to validate our email. So let's add in a line, then we can say validate, and then we will say some function. So we will say email valid, and then inside that we will pass in something, and then we will say invalid email. But instead of passing in something over here or doing some random stuff with this, which you won't be doing it far effectively than any dependency or community can. If you are, you can do. So there is something that we can use for our validation of emails. Now there is validation for email on, not only for email. You can also validate your password. You can validate so many things. So we will go and look up for this dependency, that is validator. All right. So we go to validator npm. What it does, it just checks if your value is right. So the most common one is email, and if you pass in, it will return is true or false. Okay. So there are many things. So contains a string, and then you can check this is alpha. So if one of these languages, so this used to check date, is after date, so comparison of string, and then is alphanumeric, is ASCII, is base 32. So there are many things. So even it can even check if it is a credit card. You should know that there are rules that pertain to a credit card, like there are certain digits not allowed. Mastercard or Visa card don't contain some kind of number. So that types of things. All right. So there are many things. So just for you guys to know, I create thought about using this. So there are things like tax ID, and the list just goes on. And even though you think that over here it finishes, all right, but you can always go to the readme.md file, or there are many things you can do. So all right, and this is not the only one dependency that you can use. Okay, so there are other alternatives to validator. So for now, for the ease of our work, we are going to use validator. So it says import validator from validator, but since we are using our non-ES6, so that is our modular variant. So we will say where validator equals to require validator, but we want to keep it a constant. So let's just call it a constant. And then in over here, what we'll just say is email. All right. So now we'll be getting this. So we can say either validator dot is email, and that will import the entire validator. So that is your export default. All right. But what you can do is you can always import just the is email part of the validator. So you can say is email over here, and then say this. So now it should work without showing any error. So it does say module not found. So which module is not found? Yeah, we need to install validator for our use. So uh, yeah, I know terminal does not have section to copy. So you will just clear this, and we will say npm I validata. All right. So now this should install the dependency that is required for validation of this thing, our email. So we can just wait on it. All right. Yeah. Okay, it always takes 6.6 seconds. So anything I want to do, it takes 6 seconds. So I guess I am fast, the net is not fast or something like that. So let's just clear this again and run our nodemon app.js. Yes, so there are no errors, and right now it is starting our Mongoose Connect. So hopefully, yeah, now it does do that for us. Okay, so that is your validation inside user model, but we even though have copied and pasted this code over here handle errors, we will be getting more errors than we need. So right now let's just test if our email checking is working or not. So I will put in some random and wrong email, and once we send it there, yeah, it says user validation failed, and it says path and value is test.test, and over here it says invalid email. Okay. So now we know that our errors are being handled properly, and now let's just try this as well. So we should get another error. Yeah, it says there is a problem with password. value is test3, and then kind was minimum length, so we need to keep our minimum length is 6 characters. All that, so that is our error handler working. So now we know that. All right, so let's just do this and then create like make this proper. Now even this should not work because right now we already have a test at the test.com which we created. So now if I send it in, yeah, it says user validated. Okay, it says a new user was saved. So if I send it again, okay, it does send. All right, all right, all right. So I guess, yeah, we also need to pass in is unique over here. Okay, so not is unique. You have to say unique. Okay, so that is UNIQUE. I hope that this is true. That is the right spelling. All right. So now once we save this, it should not add any more test.coms. So it says listening on port 4000, and once we send it again, okay, it still says that a new user was saved. Hmm. So that is a problem now. Why is it not working? So we have said that it is required. So we also have said that it is unique. So we have said UNI. So that's unique is also true. Hmm. Now what is the problem with you, my friend? Uh, let's try this. So what it will do is it will just transform anything that comes here into a lower case. Yeah, we need to before doing that we need to delete everything from our mongoose. So instead of doing that, going to mongoose and all, I will do is right now. Let's go to the user routes, and then over here we'll create a delete route, and we'll set del. All right. So now you should know that we are just passing in something over here, but instead of doing that, what we can always do is we can do this. And for deleting a document, so delete all docs in MongoDB. Yeah. So db.collection.remove. There should be something that, yeah. So we have delete many, and then we can always say user dot delete many. All right. And then inside this just pass in empty, and then we will say take this function and we'll say console log deleted. So I'm experimenting right now, and if this does not work, please don't worry. uh, these are just ways of our life that we go through. Okay, so now it at least the code is working for us. And now if I go to the delete part, and then from over here we go to del. All right, a user is not defined. ठीक है. Okay, we need to import user from our user model. So I have done that over here right now. What I did was I just hit control and space bar in front of user. So it gave me my user, and now it says alias const user because I have already imported it. All right. So now if I save this, hopefully it should work. Else, yeah. So now if I send it, yeah, it says deleted, right? So now this should work for us. So now we will say what is that route. Now you don't want to keep this route, but for your references I will keep it. And if you have a post of sign up route, right? So we will go over here and we'll come this part, and then once we send it, it should create a new user. Yeah, it says a new user was created. Now if I cancel this request and then send this again, yeah, it says that it is wrong. So it says email one and then there is this email and it gives us the code 11,000. All right. So, and it says 11,000 duplicate key error in collection. Okay. So let's just cancel this request. So now we have all that stuff working for us. And this function will function work the same as we expect it to in other places as well. So for now, let's just keep it to errors, email and password. And you can just say we can now stop console logging our users because we have completed our testing for the same. And instead of doing that, we can say create a token. So now if you say const token equals to create token, all right. So this is your create token. That is your this guy, the one function we created up. Okay, and then inside that we are supposed to pass in an ID. So we will say user dot underscore ID. Okay. Now we will say create a cookie. So how you do that is you say rest dot cookie. Okay, and then inside that the first parameter that you pass in is your cookie. So instead of calling JSON web token, we'll just call it let's just call it blogs. Now you are not allowed to use some things that adverse. So let's just say something like this. All right, and now this cookie, and then what it should be set as. So we will be set a token inside the cookie. So the created token will be passed in, and now this will create your cookie, but you also want to pass in some things like you want to make it secure, you want to make it HTTP only. So cookie parser does that for you, and you can always say this HTTP only. So now, yeah, it should say true, and then we will set max age will be max age.
Hello, hello.
I was asking since when did I lose my connection? Just now, right? So at 8:24 only, na?
Okay, sir.
Shiv, Lavanya, when did I lose my connection?
I don't know, sir.
शिव मैं कनेक्शन कभी गया था? Lavanya, what about you? When did I lose my connection?
Sir, 8:20.
Sir,
At 8:20.
sir, yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Chalo, so we will go a bit back. So I guess I lost my internet. Now I'm using mobile data right now. Okay. Chalo, so when I lost my connection, what I did was, since we have done error handling, so what I did was, okay, so we first had something like we were console logging the user and that all stuff. But instead of doing that, what I did was I used const token. All right. So I started using this token, and then my screen is visible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.